All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Now, as you guys can see here, the car got a little bit lower since the last time you saw it. The springs are kind of working their magic. It's coming down a little bit more. I'll go ahead and do the finger test here, but hope you guys had a safe and happy holiday, man. You still got the New Year's coming up. Make sure you guys are being safe. Make sure you guys are being smart and enjoying the time off. But the H&R Super Sports have been doing their thing. The car has been lowered a little bit more since the last time you've seen it. Since the last time I originally lowered it. It's been about just a week since this car has been lowered on the lowering springs, and so far so good. I'm not having any rubbing issues. So I was gonna go ahead and keep updating you guys on the progressive drop that these springs are gonna be giving the car over like the week, 2 week, 3 week, month period. I think in another week this car will be as low as it's gonna get. I think it's gonna drop another, I'd say, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch maximum, and that's actually all I want realistically. I don't want a crazy drop, don't want a radical drop here. I just want it to be slightly lower. But you guys can see here in the back, I could fit like a whole fist in the beginning before it was dropped. Now it's about like a 4-finger gap here, which theoretically is about right. I could probably put my thumb in here, so let's say, you know, 4.5 finger drop here, which isn't bad. This is a 15 by 10 6.5 inch weld S71 wheel, so keep that in mind. If it was an 18, it probably would be like a 3.5 finger, so that's actually ideal for a radial being in the back. In the front, we have an 18 by 9 Rovos Durbin. I don't know the exact offset or back spacing here, but before it was like a 4-finger. Now it's like 3, maybe even less than that, because my finger's bending in. So the 3-finger drop, which I think is absolutely perfect and kind of exactly what I was getting at. I think if I had the 18 by 10, I think these are actually 18 by 10.5s that they match up in the back with the 18 by 9. I think it'd be like a 4-finger or a 3.5 finger drop. So it actually might be perfect if I were to go ahead and get the matching rears again, which I'm not gonna do. The front, you guys can see here, I think it's perfect. Obviously the intercooler has plenty of room to clear. You see, I don't know if you can see, I did scrape it a while ago, but I haven't scraped it since I dropped the car, which is huge. Now over here, it's gonna be the same drop. I know some lower quality springs have different drops. It can be inconsistent and lopsided, but here it's pretty much gonna be the same across the whole board, and I am super happy. You guys can see H&R Super Sports is even all the way around, which I'm super happy with. So if you guys are on the fence, if these are some springs you want to get, highly recommend you guys going ahead and getting them. Blew my expectations out the water. They look good. They drop it evenly all the way around, so you don't have to worry about, oh man, the left side of my car might be lower or the right side might be higher. That's not gonna happen with these. So definitely go ahead and pick them up. Huge plus in my book. All right, don't mind my interior. I'm not gonna lie, I actually have been thinking about getting another exhaust for the car. I like the dumps, don't get me wrong, but it was brought to my attention that I probably should go ahead and get an exhaust for this car. So let me know down in the comment section what exhausts you guys recommend. I had boiler attacks before. I kind of want to go with something different as opposed to boiler attacks. I don't want boiler stingers just because I feel like those aren't, it's not really my style. I want something that's, you know, a little bit louder than boiler stingers. I don't know if I want to go to SLP loudmouths, but I think with cams, the SLP loudmouths would sound pretty badass, and honestly most likely similar, or at least somewhat similar to what the dumps would sound like if, you know, I were to keep the dumps on, which I am going to keep the dumps on, but I do actually want to have another exhaust ready to go in case I might want to throw one on. Let's say I go like on a road trip or something like that for a couple hours. I don't know if it'd be smart just to ride around on just the dumps. But like I said, let me know what you guys recommend. What do you think? What do you think would sound good? This car's got BBK long tube bedders, LAR Performance, off-road X pipe, and then literally just some turn down. So what exhaust would you guys recommend? But you guys can tell from the thumbnail and title of this video, we kind of got this car running pretty damn good. A lot quicker than I thought it was gonna run. Now, originally, because I kind of built this whole car to be a street car. Now, yes, I will have track time on the car, but theoretically, I build my cars for what they're going to be doing like 99% of the time. And this is like a true street car, at least what I'm trying to go ahead and build as a true street car. Still has AC, still has, you know, everything in the interior. I can literally put, you know, the passenger seat back in here in literally 5 minutes. It's just bolting on. I can bolt in a Kirky if I wanted to and take out the Kirky and put in a regular, you know, stock seat. True street car. So that's kind of like what I'm building it for. And my original goal was to get this car, you know, in the 10s, 60 to 130. That was the original goal. Once I got it into the 10, 60 to 130, I was very happy. I know that's very slow compared to a lot of the newer cars out here, but for a car like a 2-valve, because these cars, for the most part, they run like 1920s stock, 60 to 130s. I've seen some guys get some crazy like 15s, but theoretically, that 100% is not a stock car. We're going from stock to modified. These cars stock run high 19s, low 20s with a stock TR3650 transmission that's in here right now. You guys can hear my ISC valve. I am fixing it, by the way. It's been cold as fuck. I haven't really been trying to go out. Now that it's nicer out, we're gonna go ahead and get all that situated. But like I said, with the stock motor setup, stock transmission, these cars run, you know, high 19s, low 20s. Now, when I got this car essentially in the 10s, that's a 50% increase in performance, which I think is pretty fucking cool. Or I should say, actually, that's like an 150% increase in performance, which I think is pretty badass. I think that's a huge step in the right direction for this car. So I'm gonna put the screenshot on the screen right now. With this cold front that we had here in Texas, I went ahead and took the car out again. Same setup, literally. And I got the car in the 9s, which I was really happy about. I knew the car was gonna get into the 9s with this cold front that came through. Honestly, looking at the chart right now and comparing, you know, the 60 to 110, 60 to 120, and then obviously 60 to 130 times, this car is on par with a lot of the newer modified, you know, V8s on corn with an automatic transmission, which I'm super happy about. A lot of guys, you know, on Draggy, a lot of guys, you know, in, you know, the performance, you know, modification, you know, I should say enthusiast group would consider 9s, you know, dog shit slow, 10s, dog shit slow. But theoretically, if you really do go ahead and just compare the numbers, not just the 60 to 130 time, but the 60 to 110, 60 to 120, and then if you were to go out and essentially, you know, roll race the car at a track or on the street, it's gonna be on par with a lot of things that you would see on the road today. Let's say a headers E85 10-speed, a headers E85 intake MT82 Gen 3 car, you know, a headers intake Gen 1, a headers, you know, C6. It runs within all of those cars, and this is a car that's legitimately 20 plus years old, which I'm super happy about. And I think this car, if I had a watt box in that same condition, I think this car could have gotten to the high 8s 100%. I know for a fact this car with the Edelbrock Vic Jr. intake, because remember, we still have the dormant intake on this car, and it's on 93. I think with the Dorman, or excuse me, not the Dorman, definitely not the Dorman. I think with the Edelbrock Vic Jr. intake as well as some E85, this car is all day, without a doubt in my mind, gonna be a bottom 8s car. Potentially could dip into the high 7s, which if it dipped into the high 7s, that'd be outrageously quick, because a lot of guys that I've seen on Draggy that post, you know, built bottom end 2 valves with heads, cam setups, because nobody on Draggy that I've seen has posted, you know, a stock bottom end 2 valve with stock heads, cam setup run this quick. I've not seen it. If anybody has one, please go ahead and let me know. I would love to go ahead and see the numbers so I can compare with the mod list, so I can see exactly what my car should do, you know, with some different mods thrown at it. Because I mean, these cars are old, people don't really modify them, understandably. I mean, you have to go ahead and boost them to get them to run pretty decent, but at the same time, I've not seen a stock bottom end 2 valve on the Draggy forums run in the 9s yet. Pretty sure there probably are some that runs in the 9s, but confirmed, I've not seen one. Hell, I haven't even seen one out on the street running at all, for that matter. So again, if you guys know any of them, let me know. I would love to go ahead and compare the numbers and get the mod list. Now, that pass that I did the 9.5 on, that literally was just one pass, and that was it. I got the 9.5 and was happy with it. Didn't really care to go ahead and do it again, because I mean, I was already satisfied with the car running in the 10s. That literally just cuts the number in half from what they run stock, you know, 19s, 20s. So now that, you know, I'm essentially, you know, 150% over what these cars run stock, I mean, I really can't complain at all. I think that these mods work. If any of you guys were considering boosting a 4.6 liter 2 valve, which is kind of why I'm going like the true street car route. I know some people don't like, you know, the true street car route, but you know, theoretically, I'm trying to go ahead and build a car that essentially anybody can jump into, anybody can go ahead and recreate without spending, you know, a lot of money. I mean, you literally can recreate my entire setup, you know, minus the wheels and tires. Theoretically, that's not really making a big deal. You can literally get some race stars and do the same thing that I'm running right now and spend, you know, under $7,000, and that includes everything, right? It includes the blower, the fuel system, wheels, tires, the whole 9 yards. Whoop! I'm not even paying attention. Holy shit. That includes the whole 9 yards. That's kind of why I'm going ahead and doing, you know, the whole street car route, because it's something that anybody can do. It doesn't really take, you know, 10, 15, 20 grand, you know, to build, you know, X amount of horsepower to run this amount of time. Anybody can do this and still maintain, you know, the creature comforts. I'm still riding in the stock seat that came in this car in 2004. I got the, you know, the dash in here. I got working AC. I got a radio, everything, man. I can just drive the car and do whatever, and it rides like stock still on the H&R Super Sport springs. That's why I kind of got springs that, you know, anybody can go ahead and put on, and it could still drive like, I gotta fix my IAC valve, but literally anybody can go ahead and recreate this build and it'll drive like stock. And I mean, running a 9.560 to 130, that's just me, you know, shifting it not even that quick with the stock, you know, transmission. I mean, people could shift faster than me. I'm pretty sure a better driver could get this car in the 8s. Seriously, like if somebody, you know, were to drive my car that could bang this 3650 better than me, they can get this car in the 8s all day, which is headers, you know, E85, you know, weight reduction 10-speed time, which is ridiculous. And that's, you know, getting done in a 4.6 liter 2 valve car. So like I said, let me know down in the comment section what you guys think. I'm thinking that this car 100% with the new setup, with the Vic Jr. intake and E85, it's going to be running a low 8s. I'm thinking maybe like an 8.3 or lower, potentially a high 7, depending on how much horsepower it picks up. Because just by switching fuels and the intake, it should pick up at the very least, and this is literally at the very least, it should pick up about 70 horsepower or so, which will put this car, as it sits right now, over the 500 wheel horsepower mark. So there's no way it should not be running, you know, bottom 8s, high 7s. Pretty much this car with the new setup will run what a CJ Gen 1 car with mild weight reduction would run, and those cars are relatively fucking quick. I mean, I've never really ran into a slow CJ Gen 1 5.0 car. So if you had a 4.62 valve with the stock bottom end, whole motor setup running that speed, that's very, very, very impressive, and I definitely would like to see this car in that area, and I think I can definitely do it on the new setup. Obviously with the built motor, it's 100% without a doubt in my mind. I'm saying this right now, I'm not being cocky at all. With the new motor setup, let's say I want to keep it true street car and I don't even go with a YSI. Let's say I put on, you know, a TI trim blower just to, you know, have it be streetable, you know, even though you can street a YSI blower, but I'm just talking about having boost come in a little bit quicker in the RPM band, a little, you know, pretty much where it is right now, about 4,000, but just have a better impeller. I think with just the T-trim blower, and let's say if I were to spray it within 100 shot of nitrous, this car is running in the 5s, 100%. Without a doubt in my mind, first pass, you know, first time going wide open throttle, on bottle with boost, it's in the 5s, 100%. And I will be definitely happy with that. 5s is the end goal with this car. 5, 60 to 130 would be the end goal. Currently right now, the 60 to 130 time at 9.5, that's trapping, you know, according to, you know, the data, if you were to go ahead and match that up with a quarter mile time, that's trapping 121 miles an hour in the quarter mile, which is like, you know, a mid 11-second pass, which, you know, is respectable for a manual 4.62 valve with a stock bottom end. And obviously with the other setup, I mean, it should be running, you know, at the very least a low 10, high 9, which I'm telling you this right now. I am going to go ahead and run this down the track on the stock bottom end. The reason I have not done it yet is because after going ahead and doing the lowering springs, I do need to redo my suspension because it is quite old. If I were to go do it right now, I'm telling you guys this right now, the car will be coming back home on a trailer, so there's really no reason to go ahead and do that, as you know, at this point, given the fact that I'm still messing with, you know, the stock bottom end. Literally the week before this car goes under the knife with the new motor setup, send it down the track. If it fucks up, oh well, but I think theoretically I should really get it in the mid to low 11s, hopefully, at the very least. And then on the new motor setup, it should be, you know, in the 10s. And, you know, if I run a 10-second quarter mile, I'm happy. I don't care if it's a 10.99, I'm happy, right? That's, you know, that's very, very quick for a manual rear-wheel drive car that really doesn't even have that much, you know, done to it. Just, you know, built bottom end, boost, it could be done. Don't even think I wouldn't even really need the nitrous to get it done, theoretically. I think it could do it with like 600 wheel horsepower. It's 100% in the 10s, without a doubt in my mind. If it's not, that's driver error. But let me know down in the comment section what you guys think. If any of you guys have similar setups. I know some of you guys have somewhat similar setups than what I'm running. I've saw one guy on the Draggy post that ran like a low 10 actually, but I'm not too sure what type of intake he had on. I think he had the stock PI intake, which theoretically would shave off, I'd say maybe like a 10th or a 10th or 2 as opposed to the dorm. That's a nice BRZ up there. That's an FRS actually. Can't wait to get mine back next week, but I think it would definitely shave off like a 10th or 2, which would be a huge increase. But yeah, I want to go ahead and put the information out there for you guys, to let you guys know what's going down with the car. Unfortunately, I didn't get the recorded run. It's just one of those things where I just literally went out, did it. Actually blew the intake off the throttle body tube again as I did it, literally. But want to put the information out there so you guys are understanding, you know, what this setup is doing, what this setup is capable of, and if you guys were considering going ahead and boosting your 4.62 valves. I know there's a lot of guys that follow the channel that are trying to do, you know, a similar street style setup as me, and I mean 9.5 60 to 130 is definitely pretty good in my opinion. Definitely pretty good. The DA was incredible though, but again, you guys have seen in the videos, the car puts in work. I'd say for what it is, it fights well above its weight class. So if you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys drop a like in the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn those post notifications when I do go ahead and put the intake on the car. I'm not too sure if I'm gonna have the intake on the car before I do the E85. I kind of want to do everything at the same time, but if I don't do it at the same time and I have the intake on before E85, I'm going to drag the car with just the intake and the revision, and then obviously we'll do the intake with the E85 revision, and I'm going to drag it again, and then hope we can get into the bottom 8s, high 7s. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. It's been your boy Ears POV, and I'm out. Deuces.